Hi everyone, Dave here, Fit and Healthy Forever. Just a short video today. Just wanted to address a few things that I keep hearing people mention. People who are trying to lose weight, or I'm going to stop eating bread, I'm cutting out this, I'm cutting out that. So I just wanted to go through the macronutrients, which are carbs, proteins and fats, and explain a few things, and hopefully it'll simplify things for you, make it a little bit clearer. So you cut out carbs, okay, so now what do you eat? So if you look at, you've stopped eating carbs to control your blood sugar and help you lose weight, that's correct on both counts. That was what you would normally do. So if you do that, what's left to eat? Okay, first of all, a quick update on carbs. Carbs help insulin to stay high in the blood. So each time you eat carbohydrates, it turns to sugar, your blood insulin spikes, and then once that's digested, you get a crash, and then you eat more carbs and it rises insulin and it crashes. I've done a video on this before, and that's basically how it works. And also, when there's excessive insulin in the blood, it helps to store body fat easily. So this is where carbohydrates don't play a very good part. So to lose weight, you've got to cut back on carbs, especially refined carbs. Now, for health reasons, you should be cutting back on refined carbs anyway. So anyway, you've got things like your bread, your cereals, your potatoes, your French fries, your pizza, your chips, sweets. And I mentioned milk chocolate in this. Dark chocolate's not so bad, 85% and above, because there's a certain amount of fibre in it, which I'll touch on in a minute. So there's three macronutrients your body uses as fuel: your carbs, your proteins, your fats. So if you decide to cut carbs, let's take them out. So you take carbs out completely, that leaves just protein and fats. Remember, all carbs are is a fuel source, nothing else. Proteins used as building blocks of muscle, building muscle and many more bodily functions. So you could eat more protein. The problem is, if you eat more protein than your bodily activities dictate, so you're eating more protein than you are trying to build muscle, shall we say, then it gets A, excreted by your body, or B, it gets used as fuel, which we don't want, because we've cut carbs out as a fuel. So that's the two things that happen with protein if you take it in excessive amounts. Your body excretes it, which is hard on your kidneys, or it gets used as fuel if your body needs the fuel. So we don't really want to boost protein. I would keep protein roughly about 1 gram per kilo of body weight. Now, if as a proviso, if you're looking to seriously build muscle or taking performance enhancing drugs, this won't apply. It's a different kettle of fish altogether. So this just leaves fat after that. So we can't really increase fat, can we? We've been told since the 70s that fat's evil, it makes you fat. So you don't want to go down to low fat, or you should go down to low fat, they're saying. This is what authorities are telling you. But when you do that, your body's starving, because you've got no carbohydrates as fuel. You've only got enough protein to fuel your muscle building and your other bodily functions. And you go low fat, which is another fuel for your body. So where's your body getting fuel from? So I'm going to address that now for you. So if you have carbs that are low fibre, you've got two types of carbs, a low fibre and a high fibre carbs. Your low fibre carbs are the ones I said earlier, like bread, cereals, potatoes, French fries, pizza, chips, sweets, milk chocolate, stuff like that. Your high fibre carbs are your veggies and your salads and your nuts and your seeds and things like that. So any carb that's got a good carb to fibre ratio is okay, because you need fibre to satiate you so you're not hungry all the time. It's also good to keep your digestive tract clean. So them are the sort of carbs, if at all, if you can eat any at all, those are the sort you want. So the reason low carb diets work for weight loss is they keep your blood sugar low. If your blood sugar is low, your body can use fat as fuel. If your blood sugar is high, it switches off the fat burning straight away. That's what your body does. Your insulin's too high, it turns off the fat for fuel. It won't use fat for fuel because there's too much carbohydrate or glucose in your system. So it doesn't allow the body to store fat as easily when insulin's low. So if you're keeping insulin really low, it won't. It creates a steady flow of energy. So obviously, instead of your spikes and your drops and your spikes and your troughs, keeps a steady flow. So it doesn't allow for fat storage easily. Also allows the body to tap into fat stores if you've got an abundance of fat stores to start with. All carbs break down to sugar in the body, but carbs with a good fibre to carbohydrate ratio, they are the slowest ones to burn, so they will keep your energy constant. So fats, we have good and bad fats. Vegetable oils are polyunsaturated fats, which are very unstable, can damage your cells, can throw off your balance of omega-3s to 6s. Now omega-3s to 6s, you should have ideally a ratio of 1:1. A typical, shall we say, I call it American diet, but it's the same in Britain. That type of diet, the Western diet, in some cases you're getting 80 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. That is massively inflammatory on your body, massively. You do not need that many. 2:1, 3:1, maybe even 5:1 wouldn't be so bad. But then you start looking at some of the Western diets, they go from 12 to 20 to 30, as much as 80:1. That's omega-6 to omega-3. You do not need that many omega-6s. Your body can make omega-6s, it can't make 3s, it has to get 3s from the diet. So it can throw off the balance. This can cause inflammation in the body. Now, vegetable oils are usually ones like soybean oil, canola oil, safflower oil, vegetable oil, stuff like that. Avoid them at all costs. They're inflammatory to your body. They don't do you any use at all, nutritional wise, so you don't need them. But they're in a lot of processed foods, takeaway foods, things like that. Your takeaway foods, they cook with them. Your chip shops probably cook with them. So you've got to be careful how many you're taking in. Saturated fats, monounsaturated fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil. These are the fats that are good for you and help you to lose weight. Also things like coconut oil, eggs, butter, good quality meats, full fat dairy if you can tolerate it. But make sure your dairy and your meats and that are coming from preferably organic or grass-fed cattle, because when they're being fed hormones and grains, it's just as bad as eating the grains and the hormones yourself. You're getting that through the meat. So you've got to be careful what you buy. So I can tell you from personal experience, I've included more fats in my diet over the last 3 years. Roughly between 65 and 70% of my diet is fat. But I keep it as much as possible to very healthy fats. As I said earlier, your coconut oil, your olive oil, your eggs, butter, good quality meats, nuts, seeds, they all have good quality fats in them. And I am leaner now than I've ever been, at about 170, 72 pounds, which is 12 stone 4. Lightest, leanest, strongest I've ever been, I think, in my life probably. So back in the 70s, we were told that fats were evil and they'll make you fat, and we were told to avoid them, get them out of the diet. So we did that. Everyone seemed to do that. And what we did, we replaced that, because when you take them out of your diet, you've got to replace them with something else. You're just going to be starving all the time. So we were told to replace them with carbs and sugars. And guess what happened? The nation got fatter and fatter and fatter. And there was more obesity, more diabetes, more inflammatory diseases. We're a sicker nation than ever. We're always in the doctors. We're always in the hospitals. We're taking medications, over-the-counter and prescription ones. And it shouldn't be like that. I think in the early 1900s, 1 in 6 people were classed as obese. Now it's at least 1 in 2, in some areas worse. So there is an epidemic of obesity, which the ongoing cause of that is diabetes type 2. So we're a very, very sick nation. We might not think it, we might not know it, but the way we're eating and not exercising and taking prescription drugs, we've always thought the doctor's got your back, he knows best. The doctor knows medications, drugs, surgery. He doesn't know diet, nutrition and exercise because he's never been taught that. Unless a doctor's gone out and done his own research, he knows absolutely nothing about things like that. And I know that from experience. So the moral of this video is we have got to take control of our own health. You cannot abdicate control of your health to a doctor who will give you surgery or prescriptions or medications, and then they charge you a fortune for them. You need to take control yourself. It's not difficult to eat healthy, to get rid of all the crap. I know people in the past who just, all they've done is got rid of the rubbish in the diet and ate more healthy, not restricted carbs or taking them out. That will set you well on the way, and that will start you losing weight. But you need to seriously consider how much you need carbohydrates in your diet. I haven't taken a serious amount of carbohydrates in for 3 years, and I don't need them. I still train, I still walk the dogs, I still cycle, I still sprint. I'm pliable, I'm more sort of supple and pliable than I've ever been, and I haven't taken carbs in. I don't eat oats, I don't eat bread, I don't eat rice, pasta, potatoes. I just eat the fibrous ones, which are your veggies, and there's some of my nuts and seeds have got minimum amount of carbs in. My carbs are less than 50 grams a day. Net carbs, which is your total carbs minus your fibre, my net carbs are around 30 a day. So anyone who tells you you need carbs, you have to have them. You do not need them, you do not have to have them. It's a personal choice. What I would say is if you're going to include carbs in your diet, try and make sure they're good quality, they are organic where possible, grass-fed, like where your oats are coming from, and your potatoes, that it's organic, that your meats are good quality, that your fats are good quality. Look, you owe it to yourself. You are what you eat. What you put inside you becomes you. So there's a saying that if you eat shit, you look like shit, and I think to a degree that's true. So I just wanted to put that out there because I hear a lot of people, oh, I'm cutting out bread, I'm going on Slimming World, I'm going on Weight Watchers. Luke, you can't sustain them. You can't sustain cutting out bread if you don't put something else in there. You need another fuel source. Your body will run quite easily on fats, easily, but you have to eliminate carbs pretty much altogether because your body, since you've been born, you've been brought up eating carbohydrates. So that's your body's first choice of fuel, but it's not the only choice. If you take them out, it would take 2 or 3 weeks for your body to convert over to fat for fuel, and I promise you, you won't look back. I never have. I don't see a point in the future where I would need to take carbohydrates in. I haven't done in 3 years, so I don't see any need in the coming years. So just wanted to get that out there. Please take some of this on board. I'm only interested in health and fitness. I don't make money from this. I'm not interested in followers, or I just want people to have some knowledge. Like, I never had knowledge years ago. I did all these things I'm telling you not to do, and I can tell you from experience it's not the best way to go. So try and take some of this on board. Get yourself healthier. Honestly, you won't regret it. You don't know what it's like to be healthy till you get healthy, and then you will look back and say, what an idiot I was, because that's how I feel now. So until the next video, please pass this around if you think someone might be interested. Stay fit and healthy forever. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.